Well, it's nice to have you back. I see, did you get it unloaded already, or you still got stuff you got to unload?
Let's just say it's unloaded.
That's as far as it's going to go?
No, I didn't unload it, but it is unloaded. So.
All right.
I wish I could have been here to help.
What, for?
I'm being facetious.
Being here to unload it?
Yeah. No, I was floating around the pool.
Yeah, exactly. No, if you didn't know, last week Mike was up in at the Southern Detailers Conference.
Kentucky.
In Kentucky, and they had a really good show. And I guess this demo that we're about ready to do today wowed a lot of people, so we thought that we'd wow you all out there also.
I saved some sections here. So the classes are only 45 minutes long, and I showed subsurface glass polishing on a Pontiac G8.
Which is like deep wiper marks and everything like that?
Yeah, taking out wiper marks. And then I showed topical polishing on this. And so I just saved what we didn't get done to bring back here just to kind of share. Because, you know, we've shot about 3 different videos on subsurface glass polishing. That's where you're using cerium oxide and a rayon pad.
And you're working.
And you're working it for hours. But this is totally different. This is just topical glass polishing. This is a film on the surface.
Yeah, the stuff that sits on top.
Yeah, just
because that's another thing in all the comments that we had on our subsurface one. People are like, "Oh, you could just take a compound, a regular compound, and remove that." Yeah, no, that ain't gonna work because we're actually leveling the glass. Where this, we're removing what's sitting on top of the glass.
Exactly.
So with that being said, I'm gonna do my little spiel. Then I'm gonna go that way. Okay. Then you can
do my
dog and pony show here. Like always, I'm going to ask you, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Your neighbor next door, he doesn't know what he's missing. He really wants to learn how to polish his glass because you want to be safe while he's driving down the road, right? So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, the most common comment I got at Southern Detailers Conference is people coming up to me and saying how much they love these live classes.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, it was surprising because, you know, we do a lot of stuff here, but everybody seems to really love these Thursday live classes.
Well, that's better than them coming up and throwing tomatoes at you since they can't quite do it through a TV monitor or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's good feedback. Thank you for everybody.
Yeah, well, thank you all for that. Also, what do you call it? We have some other cool videos coming up, so stay tuned to this channel. Like always, remember we do have that 10 grand contest going away, which everything is listed down in the description, comments. You can see I'm a little bit out of practice here. And later on, maybe right before we go do the question and answer with you guys, I'll post up the whole thing about the contest and reiterate what it's all about. But with that, I'm going to go that way, and you, my kind sir, can do whatever you want. Right
okay, there. So let me give it a little background on this. This is topical glass polishing. So there's 2 kinds of glass polishing. There's subsurface, that's wiper marks, scratches, pits, tiny defects that are in the glass. And then this is topical. This would be for films, water spots, any kind of gunk that builds up on the glass. And the difference primarily being is this is a lot easier, and it doesn't take a very complicated abrasive technology. Whereas subsurface, as everybody knows that's watched any of my videos on this or our videos on this, requires a product that contains cerium oxide. And that's a rare earth mineral. And you really can't do it with anything else, even though all the comments seem to imply that you can. I've never had anybody show me that they could using clear coat paint compounds, but I'll let that one go. Anyway, so we're gonna do a topical polishing. And let's go back a little further. I started out detailing cars in Oregon, and most people, if I ask them what's Oregon known for, they'll say it rains a lot there. And it does. At least that used to be what you'd say about Oregon. It rains 9 months out of the year, and then it even rains for the 3 months you got summer. And here's my point. As I detailed cars out there, people bring you a car, and if it's a daily driver, because it sits outside in the rain, it always has rain spots, water spots in the paint. It also has it on the glass. And you cannot buff out somebody's car and make the paint shiny and then give them back their car with shiny paint and water spots on the glass. So one of the things that I practiced, and now later in life I teach, is always machine polish the glass. And also, here's a little tip, always do it before you wash the car. 3 of the things I teach in my detailing class are always do the things that make the car messy before you wash the car. So engine detailing, headlight correction, glass polishing. Do these 3 things first, then wash the car, and you'll save steps because you won't be trying to clean up a mess that you made doing those 3 things to a car that you just cleaned.
That's called working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. People throw that cliche around all the time, but one of the things I try to do in my classes is that I actually show you how to apply that. So anyway, so in Oregon, I would always machine polish the glass before I would wash the car. And one of the benefits to this is a lot of times I would be using a rotary. It'd be a corded rotary, not a cordless, because they weren't invented yet. And of course, a rotary tends to sling product out through centrifugal force, and that means it would get the polish splatter throughout the window frame, which there's always a rubber gasket or sometimes a fuzzy gasket. And if you do this after you wash the car, now you got to clean that up. But if you do it before you wash the car, just washing the car will blast all that out because most polishes are water soluble. So, think before you detail. I have an article that goes like this: detailing a car starts with the brain, not the buffer.
I agree.
Yeah, because most people go, give me a buffer. Well, let's get some education first.
Throw me in there, Jim.
And then the other thing is of course, something I type about a lot in an article I wrote years ago called Road Film. If you drive your car in the rain, your car has road film. And so road film is anytime a car, if you look in a parking lot, you'll see in the center of the parking spaces where fluids drip. So motor oil, transmission fluid, power steering fluid, radiator fluid, gear oil from the transfer case or the rear end. But cars, as they get older, they tend to drip, and you see this where they're parked in a parking space, but also on a long straight road when it's dry out, the middle of the center of the lane you're in is usually darker, correct? Okay, so that means these cars also drip when you're driving down the road. And so what happens is this oily, dirty mess builds up on the highway. Then the next time it rains, the cars in front of you, this oily dirt mixes with the rain and it washes it up onto your car. That's where road film comes from.
Or what do they call it overseas?
Traffic film.
Traffic film.
I think we call it road film over here because I made that term popular because I type about it so much, but over there it's traffic film. And it rains a lot over there, as you and me both know, because we went to Waxstock a few years back, and it's a wet environment over there. But it's just normal for your paint to get road film. You get a film that impacts onto the paint. It's not going to wash off. It's going to have to polish off. Same thing for your glass. That road film is going to impact onto the glass, and it's not going to wash off. And a lot of times if you take a glass cleaner and you wipe your glass, for a brief moment, you'll see this film on there, then it kind of disappears, but that film's on there.
Or the little water spots
Water spots, where I call drizzle stains, where the water's always running down and it creates a pattern where it runs down. They're called drizzle stains. And a normal glass cleaner, as good as it may be, and you wiping is not going to take this off. You need to mechanically abrade the glass to get it back down to a base of pure clean glass. And that's what we're going to show you with this windshield today.
That we are.
Okay, and then for that, we've got a new product that was just launched called Diamondite Glass Correction Glass Polish.
I know you keep on trying to say DP on that.
And of course, I brought some glass cleaner out here in an aerosol just to clean the mess up. And we will not be using the cerium oxide because this is not a class.
That's for demo. It was for demo. But if you haven't paid attention, or you're an old customer of ours, you'll know that we brought the Diamondite back. Actually, let me zoom in. This is the year that we're bringing back the old lines, I guess, reviving old lines.
And just a little shout out, Yancy did all the graphics on this. What a nice job you did.
Yeah. Well, I thank you. Do I owe you money or something? Is that what that's
you got to
for?
clean my car's glass. And then one other thing I want to touch upon, if you're going to put a coating on glass, and especially if you're detailing for money, you really need to polish that glass before you put the coating on and get it down to that clean, pure base of glass and get everything off there so the coating can actually make a proper bond. We're not going to really go into glass coatings. Here's the one called Glass Coat from Blackfire. It's a two-step approach, but even the directions for this say, if needed, polish that glass first. Don't just put it on and you'll get better results.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
You're moving, Army. What is the difference? I know some people out there might be thinking, what's the difference between a glass polish and a regular car compound?
Well, that's a good question. Here's what I'll tell you. This glass polish here cannot be used on car paint out of it. It uses a very granular abrasive technology that's completely safe for glass, and we'll really get in there and cut that film off. But if you try to polish out car paint with it, those abrasives will actually scratch the paint. So it's not clear coat safe.
So the abrasive technology.
Oh yeah, so it's just much more aggressive to make it faster, but also more effective. And anybody that's done a lot of glass polishing knows sometimes you can get the drizzle stains, the water spots if you got a lot of calcium or hard water in your rainwater or sprinkler water, or you live in an area of industrial pollution, or even when I lived out in Southern California, that's an area of high traffic in the big cities, and everybody's cars always puking out, you know, exhaust smoke, diesel smoke, brake dust, and it goes into the air. Then it comes down in the rain, and it comes down in the air and settles on in the dew, the liquid film that forms on your glass, and it becomes a film. So some glass really needs a lot more aggressive abrasive technology than car paint. So car paint, even though some clear coats are very hard, they're not as hard as glass. And but I will tell you this. A lot of times when I'm detailing a car, if I don't visually see that glass being really bad, whatever I'm using for my first step process, that's what I'll hit the glass with. And people ask me, what does that mean? So if I'm compounding a car, besides washing and claying, taping off the normal things, when it gets to doing the machine work on the paint, if I'm compounding, my first step process is the compound. That's what I'll use on the glass. If I'm using an AIO, for example, Blackfire one step, that's my first step process. That's what I'll use on the glass. And in most cases, both those products will work just fine. Anything that's safe for a clear coat is safe for glass. It's just a matter of how aggressive it is in context as to how bad the glass is. And what we got here is really bad.
Oh, here, let me switch cameras over to there. Yeah,
this is bad.
I'm working on that one right there in front of you.
So what this is a buddy of mine, Phil. Phil, if you're watching, shout out to you. Thanks for letting me borrow this. This is a windshield out of an early 1950s Ford F100. And Phil owns the Snake Road Salvage Yard here in Stewart, and they pulled this windshield out of a wrecked early 50s Ford. I don't know if it's a 51 or 52, but it's an early one. But 1950s era Ford. They pulled it out for a customer. The customer come by, and for whatever reason, he chose not to buy it. So they set it up against the building, and a sprinkler went off on it for the last 4 years. So this is a heavy mineral, hard water. Also, it looks like it's rust. It's got iron in it, so it's turned orange.
It's pretty bad.
That's why I wanted to say this, because what it does is it teach you, it's the extreme example teaching you that your glass has a film on it. And it's also something you can do. We've done this in a video. If you're a detailer or even an enthusiast detailer and you're going to detail your car, at some point go out and machine polish just like one window or one half of the windshield, and then spray water on it and see what happens to the glass that you machine polish and the glass that you didn't. You can instantly tell the glass that you machine polished, the water just wants to lay flat because there's nothing on there that makes it want to beat up, and it's just pure glass. So there's nothing going on there, but you can tell whatever was there, you've peeled it off by polishing it.
Yep,
and I do that in a lot of my classes. I show the difference so people can, because when you're working on something clear, sometimes it's hard to see before and after difference unless you bring in some other variable that can accent it. Okay, so when it comes to a polish like this, one of the things I know about this is you want to shake it up really well. The reason why is because a lot of times the abrasives will tend to settle towards the bottom, and you want a uniform mixture. And then when it comes to a tool, you can use any tool. If you look over here, Yancy, I've got a Porter cable. You can use a Porter cable. In my world, this is one of the weakest tools there is on the market today. It's a great tool. It's a tank of a tool, but it's also a 8mm free spinning tool, and it's a bit on the anemic side.
It was good really back in the day,
but it will get the job done. It's just going to take longer. So the fastest way is with a rotary, but you could use any polisher. You could use a gear-driven Beast, the Millet. You could use a long stroke. I tend to like rotary or short stroke though, because when you get that long stroke going, it's harder to get near the edges of the glass. So really what works best is a rotary, and even for getting into corners, a lot of times I will use the Rupes Nano in rotary mode.
Look at you.
So we'll go nuts. For this, I've got a 5-inch or 6-inch backing plate.
Right here, let me.
And I've got and this is a flexible one. It's not that crucial here, but it's just one that I like for this type of work. So
a flexible one instead of a solid one?
So it has a little bit of give to it. And we sell these here at Autogeek. They're real nice. It just has some give to it. And then this is the Rupes. I forget what they call this thing. I use these things all the time. This is their Coarse wool polishing pad for Orbital polishers. And I love the Rupes pads. This is a real short wool nap to it. It appears to be stitched all along here to keep it tight, so there's less wiggle to it as you're using it on a DA. And I'm probably breaking all the Rupes rules by using this on a rotary, but it just works good for this type of work.
Okay.
Okay, so then what I want to do is I want to go ahead and shake this up, and I'm just going to polish right down the center here, and then we'll wipe off and take a look.
So basically the reason why you're shaking is because a lot of the abrasives would probably settle?
Yeah, settle out.
Right.
And you know, Yancy, we teach the technique called picking a bead up on using the 10 at 10 technique.
Yep.
And I'll do both, but here's something I like to show people is if you're uncomfortable using the 10 at 10 technique and you're using a rotary, you can just put the product on the pad, but put it around the center. Don't put it on the outer edges because of centrifugal force, it'll tend to fly out. And this comes in real handy if you're working on the vertical panel on a car, or if you're doing boat detailing, okay? Because a boat hull tends to go away from you, so it can be really hard to throw a strip up there at an angle and then also pick it up without it falling on the ground. So anytime you're working on vertical panels, just a technique that you can use that will help you with the rotary is to go ahead and just put the product in the center like that.
Okay.
Okay?
Not on the outside. You don't want to throw it all over.
Okay, then I'm just gonna lay this down here. Turn my speed down all the way to the lowest setting just to get this kind of spread out. And you don't need high speed, but I like to buzz this up to about the 3. Okay, and then just for fun, I'm going to show the 10 at 10 technique in case anybody watching does not know what that is. 10 at 10 technique, of course, the way you're watching it for me, I'm going to do the 10 at 4 technique. So I'm going to pick it up at 4 o'clock. If you look at this like it's a clock, here's midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. But it's the face of a clock. And the 10 at technique is when you're behind the polisher looking down, you pick this up about 10 degrees and run that strip in at 10 because it's spinning counterclockwise as I look down on it. It picks that strip up and pulls it into itself. If you were to pick it up down here, it would throw it everywhere. But once you get good at this, it becomes relative. You just have to understand how the pad is spinning relative to where that strip is. So I will pick this up using the 10 at 4. I'm going to pick it up at 4 o'clock going that way. Just like that.
Look at you.
Okay, so then polish this, and if it's really bad, you know, kind of go up on edge, get a little more cut out of your pad.
How hard are you pressing down?
Oh, I'd say about 5 pounds. Not a lot. One reason also is because of the way this glass is sitting on this stand. I don't want to crack it, or I'll be buying a windshield for a truck I do not own.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reveal.
Take a little glass cleaner. I love this glass cleaner just because it's an aerosol.
I know, that's like, I don't do the trigger spray because I'm just like, is it aerosol? Yeah, okay, it's mine.
Okay, then we'll actually use a glass towel for once to.
Yeah, we're using that towel for what it was made for. Amazing.
Okay, let me clean this up, and then if you want, I can kind of pick this up at an angle so you can see the difference.
Yeah, just don't drop it off the stand.
Okay, and there is the reason you want to polish glass. Get that film off there. And now that's just pure, clean glass.
That's me.
Perfect. Perfect for putting us any kind of coating on there.
Yeah, no, let it down just a little bit. Right there. Yeah, there you go.
And of course, before I take this back to fill, I'll finish the whole thing out.
You'll actually do a whole job, not going to leave a test spot?
Yeah, well, I'll finish this one out just while we're on camera, but I'm going to save this for another project I'm going to do before I give this thing back. But again, I'll show you a 10 at 10 technique. And this time I will just do the normal, from my point of view, 10 at 10. And the idea behind this is that you get so good at it, you know, if you can make it look easy, it is easy. When I was at Southern Detailers Conference, here we go, I was actually surprised at how many guys I ran into during before, during, and after the glass polishing class, when I asked them if that's a normal thing they offer is glass polishing or a normal step they do in their details, they said no. I was like, really? I was kind of taken because I thought everybody did this.
Well, kind of leaving some money on the table.
Well, I just throw it in with all the details I do, mostly just because when the customer picks up a car, you want it to look, everything to look shiny. And polishing the glass just gives it that total bling effect where just everything pops. So I always teach guys, make the car as ugly as you can. So that means tape it off, put wheel maskers on, you know, cover up the windshield if you got a lot of plastic up there. So you're making it ugly, take your before shot. And then when you're done, you know, you've made that final wipe, then take your after shot. And then that's just like, just absolute, everything's just the tires, the wheels, the chrome, the trim, the plastic, everything's dressed. You get that total extreme before and extreme after look. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up a question here real quick.
That's kind of it for the demonstration. It's not a complicated topic.
No, it's not. And the reason why I'm going to bring this one question up real fast is just to clarify what we're doing here. We have Francisco Sprott. I just like saying it that way. But what if the glass has scratches at different depths? Would you correct it? This is what we're talking about. This is to remove the above surface, no scratches, anything else. This would be like water spots, film, anything that's like sap, whatever else. If you want, go back to our other video. I think that was maybe, well, I can always come back into the comments and I'll put the link in it.
Yeah.
And we have a whole video where it shows removing scratches from glass. So this is not going to remove scratches. It's just going to remove the stuff that's on top.
And we've already made 3 videos in the last year on this topic. So if you go to YouTube search and just type in glass polishing Autogeek, they'll all pull up. And
Yep.
we go over that very, very in-depth. In fact, I've been told by a whole bunch of people in this industry, it is the most in-depth and accurate video on glass polishing they've ever watched. And there's a whole slew of this stuff out there. So
yeah, that was because I was there squirting water. That's what made it so in-depth.
Yeah, but it's in-depth. So, you know, if you got, but this time we're just doing topical. And kind of back to what I was saying, if you detail cars for money, you know, you should be polishing the glass on all the cars, whether you're going to coat it or not, because the paint gets dirty, the glass gets dirty, the plastic trim, the bumpers, everything, if it's a daily driver, is getting a film build on it, and you're not doing a complete job is what you're not doing.
Well, this is, you know, another thing too. It shows that you're actually, let me bring me up. I'm just like a talking head from nowhere. It makes it where you seem more like I'm going to take care of your car, every bit of your car, instead of, yeah, I'm just going to touch the paint and wash it and walk off, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Then plus, what is the one thing that everybody has to see? You know,
look through the
they have to look
glass.
through the glass. Yeah. You turn the car back to them and there's nothing but water spots and grim all over there going, eh.
Yeah. So I've found in the last 20 years of teaching detailing and answering questions professionally, so I get paid to answer questions, so someone must think I'm doing it right. But the point being is I've always found it challenging to explain, especially to younger detailers, that paint gets a film on it, okay? About the only time you can see it is if you have a white car and you're experienced enough to know it has a film on it, you put a tape line down and then just buff on one side, pull the tape line off, and all of a sudden you'll see that paint's vibrant white and all the rest of the paint looks like it's got a cloud on it. In fact, one of my oldest articles is called "The Lesson White Paint Teaches Us." And it talks about my experience in Oregon. What it was is I had a white Honda Integra, and I put a black bra on it after I detailed it and went through the winter. I come out of winter, I took the black bra off, and underneath the black bra, the paint was vibrant white, and all the rest of the paint had this, what looked like a black cloud, and this was after I washed it. So whatever was on there wasn't washing off. That's road film. And just like your paint gets it, your glass gets it. So, but I found it really challenging to explain this to people, because if you can't really see it, you don't know it's there. But I'm telling you straight up, it's there. If the car is a daily driver, it has road film on the paint, on the glass, on the plastic, on the chrome, on everything. And it's your job to understand this and then remove it.
Makes sense. All right. Oh, and one last thing that you forgot to mention. After this, what would be the perfect thing to do?
I'd put a coating on it. You know, just go ahead and coat it. That'll seal the glass. It'll keep it cleaner longer, and it'll make water just fly off. You know, so it's safer. I mean, most of the glass coatings on the market, including this one I got over here, Glass Coat, after you're driving about 30 miles an hour, the glass just flies off. And then the key is that then you don't have to use your wiper, so it'll last longer. As soon as you start using your wiper, the rubber blade tends to micro abrade whatever you put on there off. So the goal is to not use your wipers because you don't
Or
need
at least
to.
as much as you can.
Yeah, leave it on there as much as you can.
I know. Well, we're going to time for viewer questions. I hit the button. Yes, it's time for viewer questions. If you ask, we answer, and well, Mike answers. I just relay the thing over, but I accidentally hit that button, so I am sorry. But yeah, like me, every time I put something over my glass, I'm just like, it's going to rain. I know it's going to rain. It's just going to rain. It's just going to rain. And sure enough, it rains, and all the stuff, because I have to use my wipers. I try to prolong the use of my wipers on my thing. Then finally I use it, and it's like, oh, now I'm going to have to redo it all over again. All right, so long story short, sorry.
Kind of a short topic. I'm okay with that. It's just, you know, this is something that's important. If you're a detailer, you should be polishing all the glass.
You should.
Yeah. But the only glass I don't polish is the side view mirrors. You know, because it's covered usually. It's got a lip of plastic over the case that it just doesn't get dirty. And anything that is on there will just hand polish off.
Very true. Very true. Mm-hmm. Okay, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Fernando. We have Fernando. He's coming in. Looks like a Mexican flag. Buenos tardes. Saludos de Sate. All right. We have Jay Kushner. Hi, Mike and Yancy from Dallas, Texas. Missed you last week. Yeah, it's kind of weird. And I was like walking around Thursday like a little lost puppy.
Yeah, we were driving.
And you were driving.
Until we got to Big D's detail shop, and we also checked out the new IGL training center.
Yeah, that looked cool.
Oh, that's nice. It's basically a duplicate of this with the classroom behind it.
All right, that works. TJ Sands. Hello, fellas. Barry McClocker told me to start listening to you guys, and I have learned a lot from these live shows so far. Thank you. Well, thank you. And when you talk to Barry, tell him we say thank you. We have Sam Gibbons from New Zealand. He's a Kiwi, right?
Sam Gibbons, yes.
They're
How you doing,
Kiwis.
Sam.
Daniel Kinner.
Oh, Daniel Kinder. I've been talking with this guy on the internet for about 10 years.
No, 12. Glad to meet you after 12 years and had a chance to polish the glass.
Okay, so a little shout out to Daniel. You know, the class I taught, I think they were running 40, 45 minutes. And what we did is we put a tape line diagonally down the passenger side of the window, and then we use the cerium oxide in a glass pad. And because it's a fairly short class, you know, I buffed a section just enough so you could pull the tape line off, and anybody looking could go, yes, that is a huge before and after difference. But what that meant was also like all the rest of the glass had scratches. And I'm busy working on this and answering questions and interfacing with all the people there. And Daniel, he was so kind, he polished out the rest of the windshield, both sides. So, you know, it's hard work. Daniel, you can feel this in your muscles right in here because you're pushing down on that polisher. And it was a professional thing that he did. It was a courtesy to the guy that owned the car. It was a courtesy to Daryl and myself to take care of the people that trusted us with their cars. And it really fixed that windshield up. So thank you, Daniel. Awesome. It was great talking with you there.
We have Mario Torres. He looks like from Puerto Rico, my favorite class. Michael's coming in from Duck Detailing in Massachusetts.
Great name. Duck Detailing.
Okay. Francisco, he came in earlier. Would and ray rotary machine leave swirls on the glass?
Well, no, there's no swirls here. It just depends on the abrasive technology you're using, but glass is harder than paint. I've never seen it myself. So, and here's one of the things, good point, here's one of the things I teach whenever I write an article, whenever I make a video, whenever I teach a class, or whenever I do this for someone else, is whenever you're polishing glass, in case you're in doubt of anything that you're doing or using, never start on the driver's side of the windshield in case something goes wrong. Always start on the passenger side windshield or on a side glass. And then if you see something going wrong, like you're saying, rotary buffer swirls or holograms, then you know to stop, and then you need to fix that. But
adjust your technique.
Yeah, you got to do something. But see, it's never happened to me, and I don't teach people how to use stuff that would cause it to happen. So if you're buying any of the stuff that I show, you're going to be safe. And if you're testing stuff on your own, then do a test spot first. And cross your fingers.
Yeah, and then if you're brand new to this, go to the junkyard, get a piece of glass.
You could
Try
do
it
that,
out.
yeah. Go to the junkyard. That's what I did. I went to the junkyard and got a piece of glass.
All right, we have Rami coming in. Hello.
Good question.
Oh, welcome back. Oh, they noticed. We have Humberto, Mike wearing glasses with a professor look.
I left my contacts at home because I was traveling to Kentucky, so I didn't pack up to come back to work today. I forgot. So, yeah, wearing glasses.
Okay, and then
But this is also safety because anytime you're using a rotary, you don't want to throw abrasive technology in
Good
your
cover.
eyeballs.
Good cover.
Good cover, huh?
Yeah, good cover.
Good save.
I'm calling BS on that one. All right, we have Kelly.
I got a face shield back here, a COVID face
Yeah,
shield.
right. Kelly coming in from California. You mentioned traffic in Southern California. Traffic is so bad here is contributing to the reason why California's population is now decreasing.
Oh, that's one of the reasons.
One of the reasons. I think taxes are the other reason.
Oh man, when I lived in Southern California, it was the traffic is so horrendous out there. I always tell people when I left McGuire's and came out here to Autogeek, I didn't move away from California. I escaped California. Little change in words and meaning, but yeah, if you live out in California, hats off to you to be able to endure that.
All right, we have here. Get on there. Go to the broadcast. Why are you not going to the broadcast? All right, there we go. Hiram Lopez, you did an amazing job covering SDC. I saw all your videos. He said that you killed it at the SDC classes. But
Thank you,
I watched
Hiram.
every one of your videos, Hiram. Thank you for posting those.
Yeah,
Those were
thank
amazing.
you. It was awesome meeting you and talking to you there. It was a fun event. I can't wait till next year.
Right. Daniel coming back on here again. Always great. I always get a kick off of a pro dealers that can't pick up a bead surface like that, especially when they're doing classes.
Well, I've had a few years to practice.
All right. All right. We did that question. We did that. Here, Tony Lopez says hi. Did that.
This, by the way, will work on any boat that has glass windows. A lot of boats bigger boats have glass windows, and they get a lot of water spray. Now, that could be fresh water or salt water. But man, I'll tell you, you get that salt water spray and it builds up over time. You're gonna need to polish to get that off.
And another thing too is it's not just for automotive. You can use it at your house.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because that just made me think about it. The
Shower
sprinklers,
stall, shower windows,
shower
or
glass,
shower doors.
So I mean, this product isn't just for car glass. I mean, it's any type of glass. And the thing is you can turn around and say you have well water outside on your sprinklers, and you have I've seen this many times, a slider door, and it's like the bottom half is just like this copper brown.
I had this in a house I owned in California. I had a water spray on all the lower side windows, and I went out there and machine polished it. But the thing you had to be careful, like if you got a fairly large glass window,
Don't press hard.
You don't want to press hard. You'll feel it start to bend. So you need to be gentle with your pressure and just take your time and let the abrasives do their work. And then turn the sprinkler in a way that it does not hit the glass.
Right?
So work smarter, not harder.
All right, let's go here, Robert. Is the pad only dedicated for glass since you might not be able to totally wash clean?
No, but that does bring up a good point. Is a lot of times when I'm doing any kind of polishing with something that uses abrasive technology that's not safe for paint, I mark the back of my pad, wash it by itself or with other glass polishing pads, and dedicate it for that. Don't cross-contaminate. Nobody likes to buff out a car twice because the thing you were using micromarred the paint. Hopefully you would catch that, on whatever fender or panel that you were buffing. But yeah, don't cross-contaminate your pads, and don't think that washing the pad is going to get 100% of that abrasive technology out. It may, but if it doesn't, you don't want to buff out a car twice.
That was a weird noise that just happened.
Yeah, I had a truck that pulled in up there.
I was like, what the heck is that?
It's fighting itself.
It sounded like it. All right, this one's funny. I have to laugh. Richard, you just cracked me up. Hello, everyone. Assuming Yancy's Charger is in the police impound lot. No, it's not. When will you be detailing it? Well, now that Mike's back, we can continue on with our little series that we're making on that. So we already got one done, then all the traveling and everything happened, so now we'll be able to get back on it. So, yes. Videos coming to you. But yes, I have not did anything too bad with that car. I did post a nice little mark that I left, but that was only like 3 houses long. But anyways, let's go to Arthur. How would this polishing be done on the interior part of the glass as opposed to the exterior as demonstrated?
Good question. You know, in the last year, recently, remember when I put up a fresh write-up on the forum, and I also shared it on my Instagram page and my Facebook page, where I machine sanded the windshield on a 1957 Corvette before I went to cerium oxide and glass polish it because it had such horrendous scratches in it. And one of the things I showed in that write-up was using this polish to polish the inside of the glass. And here's I'm so glad they brought this up because I forgot about it.
I totally did too.
I also did this for a couple years ago. There's a gentleman that passed away in Hope Sound, and out in his pole barn were 2 1967 Mustang Shelby GT350 and a Shelby GT500 and an AC Cobra. And I did the paint correction and the interior detailing on both of the Shelby Mustangs. And I machine polished the outside of the glass to get rid of the wiper scratches, but the inside, just like the car had mold all over it, the inside of the window had a film on it. And again, a glass cleaner a lot of times isn't going to clean that. So what you need to do is just get a microfiber applicator pad, like any kind of round or square pad, and put the polish on there and go in and polish it. And here's what you're going to do. Whatever that film is, so a lot of times on the inside of a car, you'll have vinyl fog. New cars outgas and emit an oily film that you'll see on the glass. It's actually everywhere, but you only see it on the glass. We should be cleaning everything, the headliner, everything. Or if you're a smoker, you get smoker film. Old Jim, you know, you get smoker's film on there. And if you go in there and you try to just clean it with a spray-on glass cleaner, usually it's not effective and it's messy. So instead, go in and hand polish it. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to easily mix that film up with the polish, and then when you wipe it off, you wipe the whole mess off at once, then come back and finish it off with the glass cleaner.
That makes sense.
And you can do this for all the glass in the car. That makes a huge difference, in fact.
Probably quicker.
It's a heck of a lot. Sometimes you'll never get that off with the spray on glass cleaner. Whatever the film is, you're fighting yourself. Just get it over with. But the key is you're mixing it with this film of polish. So the polish has carrying agents. It's got the abrasives. It's got some sort of lubricant. Of course, it's usually got water. But this rarely do I get to use the word matrix. You know, so it's this matrix of products that you're smearing around the glass, and all that film that you're trying to get off gets mixed into it. Then you wipe it off, and you get everything that was on the glass off. So it is it's a real helpful technique. Sometimes if you get stuck with something, especially that's older or even newer, because it's got vinyl fog on it.
Okay, let's move on. We have Francisco watching from St. Augustine, Florida. All right. For some reason, I was thinking you're from Italy, just because of your name, Francisco. Marcus Parsley is on here. Thank you for stopping by.
Marcus, thank you for playing chauffeur.
He chauffeured you,
he was driving me back and forth in his big green Kenzo monster truck.
You're like, okay, you can drive me in
his truck is a beast, man. And of course, it's always great to hang around you and the IGL team, Joel and everybody there, Jen, so that was awesome.
All right, we're moving on. We have Gabriel, hello from the Philippines. Hello back. I want to know how to say hello in all these other different languages, so that way I'm going to start learning.
Get a translator.
Right.
I mean, something electronic you put, you know.
Well, yeah, I could. We have Brad, hello from Minneapolis. Mike and Yancy, always great content. Thank you for tuning in. We have Kevin coming in from Pro Detail, Florida. Drive Pro Detail, Florida. Okay.
Seen your work, impressive. You know, when it comes to stuff like this, one of the things me and Yancy do, we practice. There's an old saying in the car racing world called "Run what you brung."
Yeah.
I think it was made popular by Cale Yarborough. And back in the old days, so the 1950s and 60s, in the early days of car racing, people would drive their car
grocery getters
to the racetrack, and they would race it on the same tires and everything that they drove the car there, and then of course drive it home. Of course, nowadays everything's on a trailer, special tires, you know, the engines won't even run on the street. But it was called Run What You Brung. You raced what you drove there. And I have an article that goes by that name. So the article is called Run What You Brung or Use What You Have. we had this, we had a video to shoot, it's an important topic, so that's why the video's here. But a lot of times, whatever we're doing, it's because, you know, one of us has a car here we're working on, and there's a topic we can use it to teach with.
Yeah, we try to make it real world, so that way, you know, whatever's in front of us right then we're like, all right.
Exactly, use what you have.
All right, we have Neil coming in. Would the same procedure work on headlights as well?
You know, on headlights, you could actually get away with a really abrasive product like this because it's plastic.
But you would have to come back in with a polish.
Yeah, the one thing you'd want to do is, it just depends. I mean, if it's just a scrappy old car, plow through it, buff it out. But if it's a nice car, a nice new car, the problem is this abrasive technology is going to mar plastic. You know, so you'd want to, you know, I would choose something better for something nice. But, you know, sometimes I work on beaters. I love beater detailing. It's one of my favorite kinds of detailing. But if it's a beater, man, I just take whatever I got, whatever's closest to my hand, whatever tool pad and product, and just buff it, you know?
He means that.
Me and Todd Helm, we had this joke between us years ago called "Get a polisher and polish it."
Yeah,
and
right.
Todd would know what that's about, but it was pretty funny. There was this guy that was trying to do motorcycle detailing. And he kept asking me how to do it, and I finally says, "Just get a polisher and polish it. Don't make things more complicated than it is." But you could use it. You know, and also, like, if you're working on a classic car that has the round headlights that are glass or the rectangular ones, and it's got a film on there, heck yeah, you can go ahead and use it for that, and with no worries about scratching the glass.
All right, we have another question coming in. Which pads, what pads are you using again for buffing the glass? Those are the Rupes, right?
And don't get caught up on this. This was a Rupes coarse wool, but in my life, I usually just use anything that's cutting. So foam
coating,
cutting,
foam, regular wool
pad
pad
cutting, microfiber cutting. But you know, the pad is the least important. The abrasive is more important. But see, there's no reason to use a soft foam finishing pad to buff out really bad glass. It just doesn't even make sense. You want something that's going to trap that abrasive between the pad and the glass and grind it into the glass to pull this really horrible film off. Okay. So don't get caught up on the pad. Whatever you got that's cutting pad, just remember to dedicate it to that polish. Do not mix it the next time you're buffing out a car with your paint care, compounds, polishes, or cleaner waxes.
Like with like, people.
But yeah, you probably can't read this because I washed this pad a boatload of times. These are great pads for doing correction on paint also.
There you go.
So I just,
That's the pad.
I just grabbed it. So.
It's what he had closest to his hand.
And that is a slogan or cliche that I use a lot. People say, "What's your favorite towel?" Well, whatever's closest to my hand.
No, it's true.
Otherwise, I got to walk all the way over there to get the towel I really want.
All right, here we go. We have a competitive ad. I love your name. After polishing some scratches made by dishwash sponge, should some distortion remained? Should I have polished more?
Yeah, if you've got scratches in glass from a dishwashing pad, that's I know they make these little copper ones, maybe they're just like a pot scrubbing pad, but for something like that, you're going to be over here to the cerium oxide by Ceraglass. You're going to need this to pull scratches out. This is not going to take scratches out of glass. It's not going to do it. It's not what for. It's not what this class is about. That's not what I'm showing. So look up our other video called, just go to the YouTube
I'll
search
post it in the comments.
And Yancy put another glass polishing Autogeek should pull it right up.
I will do it right now. Talk about something.
A lot of times I always, everything I create, any content I create, whether it's a picture, an article, a post, I always add my name to it. So then when I look for things, I type in a few keywords like glass polishing, add Mike Phillips, and it usually, Skynet will usually take me right to it. Skynet is my comical term for Google. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those things are a conglomerate of, well, we all know it's a conglomerate of.
It's a conglomerate.
All right, there we
AI.
go.
How to safely remove pits, wiper marks, and scratches from glass.
There you go.
Let me copy. Bam, copy.
And I always like to share this, you know, in that video where we showed taking out really excessive wiper marks, I think it was a Toyota Camry.
There you go. It's that video link I just posted right there.
I think it was one of our coworkers, grocery getter. We only did a section down the middle of that windshield. He took all the stuff we showed and took it home and knocked that.
Michael.
Michael. He did the entire windshield. It looks like a brand new piece of glass, but he invested the time to do the whole thing and the muscle.
All right. Hiram's back on here. Thank you, Yancy. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for doing it. And Care Passion, you're very welcome. We have Wael. How would you say W-A-E-L? Wahole? Wahole? Hello. He's saying hello. I'm sorry. Whale?
Whale.
Whale? Whale?
Whale.
Whale?
Whale is a E, not as a A, as in a big mammal in the ocean.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry for ruining your name, but hello. Okay, competitive ads coming back on. The surface was the windshield and the compound was cerium oxide, so probably just needed to polish more.
Yeah, probably just need to polish more. Here's one thing I'll tell you. You got to make sure everything's clean. Get that car clean, the windshield clean, make sure your pad's clean, and shake that product well. This product, just like this product, when it sits, okay, when it's standing, right now, see it? It's standing still. The abrasives will settle to the bottom. So you're going to get the most effective use of the product if you shake it before use and during
While
use.
you're using it. You can leave it there.
I met a guy recently on the Autogeek forum that tried everything I did. Luckily for him, he tried it on a side glass and he got some micro marring. I told him the same thing. I go, something was wrong with your process. Something was dirty. So he cleaned everything, ordered 2 fresh glass pads, redid it, and pulled everything out. So that's why you need to work clean, surgically clean.
We have automatic. Smash the like. Thank you.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash. If you've been to any Mike's classes, you'll know that gets said a lot. Mario is coming in high from Aguascalientes, Mexico. That name of that town, I just want to go there. You know, the hot waters.
What if they grow the agave plant there?
Yeah, well,
whatever comes from that. I don't know.
I don't know what comes from agave. Oh, we have telemarketer call me about my insurance. While comes out, I read before the cerium oxide is used to polish the glass is different than this glass polish. Yes, these are totally 2 different things.
2 different abrasive technologies. One is for subsurface defects like wiper marks, pits, and scratches. One is for topical stains or buildups, film buildups.
Could you say that one is, the grit is harder than glass and one is softer than glass? Because one would have to be a little bit harder than glass in order to braid it, would it
I would
not?
agree. And you know, I've never really taken the time to do any of the research because usually what I do is I just trust the name on the label.
It says remove scratches.
Yeah, it says it does what it does. I trust that CarPro hired a chemist that actually knows what they're doing. Just kind of like when they hired me, they knew I knew what I was doing.
Oh boy, did we get the false end of that flag.
So, yeah, there's something about the mineral cerium oxide that it's able to abrade the surface without scratching it when it comes to glass. So, but stick with a trusted. I always like to say established brands. CarPro is an established brand. It's one of the few easily readable, easily available glass polishers for taking scratches out of glass. We carry it here at Autogeek. There's a couple other companies that contain cerium oxide polishes out there. I've used one and I was not impressed with it. I was not impressed. It came as a powder. I had to mix it up with water myself. It made a big mess when I used it. The interface pad it came with for a drill was ineffective. So there's a lot of options out there. In all the videos and articles and things I teach, I teach this in my car detailing classes. All my students get a polish out glass. So everything I show is very consistent that it's going to work if you just follow the directions and do the right things.
Okay.
So that way I don't have any problems and I don't have to worry about other people having problems.
Well, you're here to teach them to do right. That's what you're doing.
Do it right the first time.
All right, we have Sam coming in, watching from Jacksonville, Florida. Here's a question for you.
Busy place, Jacksonville.
Yeah, right?
Too much traffic for this guy.
Alex, won't the IPA remove that vinyl fog that is built up on the windshield watching from Romania? An IPA cut through that? Or the vinyl?
No. Maybe, but...
Depends on how bad it is.
It just depends on how bad it is. But see, there's something to be said for mechanically abrading or polishing the glass to make it smooth and clean again, besides just relying on a chemical. You're never going to get the glass as smooth as this feels from mechanically polishing it. So everybody can do what they want. I never argue with anybody, but I'm telling you, I've been doing this a long time, and there's just something to be said for machine polishing with some sort of glass polish, or even clear coat polish on glass if it's topical versus just wiping a solvent on there.
Right. Okay, we have Anthony coming in, Anthony Aguilar. Good to meet you at SDC. Thanks for the tip on McGuire's number 7.
Oh, cool.
All right, we have Arvind. Greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. Been there, amazing place. Love the series, online classes. Will there be a chance you guys might do a show on AIOs in the future? Do's and don'ts, best techniques, etc.
You know, we're doing something similar at 6 o'clock tonight
On MTA.
on the Mobile Tech Expo. I'm doing a session on high-speed production detailing, teaching you how to get in, get it done fast, but keep your quality really high. And part of that is using great AIOs. So tune into that if you want to at 6 p.m., which is 2 hours from now, on Mobile Tech Expo Facebook page, or you can also watch it tomorrow and then the rest of your life on their YouTube channel.
But Arvid, let me just come back to you that we did do one. I'm trying to remember the name of the title of it.
Yeah, what was the title? Somebody did the black hood, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, we did the entire car. I did half of it.
Oh, yeah.
We did an all-in-one production detailing or speed detailing or whatever it was called. I can't remember now.
We did the entire car live.
Live.
Which was a real pain in the butt because, you know, it's no fun to get down low and do the bottom parts of the panel, but we did that.
Yeah, and he did half of the car with the Flex. I did the other half with the Millet. And so we do have one iron, one step.
And that was really popular.
Yeah, that was a
lot of views.
That was a good one.
Yeah, one of the things I teach in all my classes, and one of the things I practice is doing, every detailer that does this for money should be able to know how to and offer one-step production detailing. And it's called production detailing because it's the opposite of show car detailing. You know, so show car and production is two terms that are opposite of each other. And a lot of time at a dealership, you know, they're not going to do multiple step detailing to a car they want to flip. They're just going to do high-speed production. It's just production detailing. And for that, that's where you use a quality AIO. The most important thing when you're doing that type of work is you've got to pick an AIO that uses great abrasive technology, or you're going to be doing it a second time and finding a product that works better than the thing you used the first time. And then you want to try to stick with foam polishing pads. You can use microfiber pads if you want to, but you better do a test spot and make sure the paint's not soft. A lot of times a microfiber pad, anybody's brand on softer paint, is going to leave micro marring. If it does that, you just took a one-step process and made it a two-step process. You're just wasting your time. So this class I'm going to show tonight, I'm going to show foam polishing pads and two different but great AIOs.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that video right now.
I have 2 cars that I'm detailing. I'm scheduled to detail this weekend. I'm using AIOs. I'm not doing ceramic coatings. I'm not using carnauba wax. It's one and done.
Yeah, I'll post that up here.
It's actually my favorite kind of detailing because, you know, profit per hour usually tends to be the same as, say, doing a multiple step coating, but it's a heck of a lot less work, you know. So that's the part I like about it. You're in and out quickly. Most of my one steps are about 5 hours from start to finish.
Okay, we have Bernardo. Hello, Mike and Yancy. Thanks for the class. I just haven't had a chance to use it. We have Duncan coming in. Thanks for all the free tutorials and videos you do. I'm just an amateur, but have learned so much from you over the years. Well, the only way to do is to do.
We all start out in the same place. That's knowing nothing.
All right. And that was the last question. So this is a short, sweet, and simple one today. Go ahead and bring this out.
Yeah,
I know what I can do.
It's you know, sometimes you don't want a really long class on something simple.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could have drug it out forever, but
and I'm going to fix this tomorrow, then I'm going to take this back to my buddy Phil. He can sell it.
And he can sell it. All right, now for all of you that did not know, we are having the 10K at 100K. Basically what this is, we're going to give out a $10,000 prize pack. As soon as we hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, the only thing that you need to do is head over to YouTube channel, youtube.com/Autogeek, hit the subscribe button, and once we hit 100,000 subscribers, we will go through and pick a lucky subscriber and get $10,000 prize pack. Now, what do you get with that prize pack? You get me. No, you're gonna, there's, Rupes is kicking in. They're doing a nano kit. We have Griot's that's kicking in. They're giving me some G9 kit. Then we have pads are gonna be going in there, microfiber towels, class with you, dinner with you, ooh. And so there's a lot. I mean, we're announcing things as they come through.
You better like Mexican food or seafood.
Yeah, right. But then a lot of it, I have other vendors that are kicking stuff in too, so always be aware. Dr. Beasley's is throwing in some stuff. Flex is throwing in some stuff. So it's going to be, if you're new to this or wanting to get into this whole thing, what do you call it? It's going to be an amazing prize pack. So with that being said, let's kick it over to here. Good thing I came back to you and you weren't picking your nose or anything. I didn't even look before I sent it back your way.
I think I yawned.
You did yawn, I heard it. They didn't see it, but I heard it. All right, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and got something from this, and I really hope that Mike cleared up the difference between topical and subsurface scratches. Below surface, above surface.
Yes.
There is a difference, people.
And if you're detailing cars for money, you should be doing a minimum
of this.
Topical glass polishing. Get that glass clean, and then put a coating. Even if it's something like Rain-X, put something on the windshield. And
hey, that could be an extra $100 in somebody's pocket.
Yeah, I charge for the coating. I wouldn't charge for the glass polishing unless they're bringing it to you just for that. Like something's hit the glass and really made it a mess. Then
right.
Then charge for it. But if you're doing that, then you better throw in a car wash because you're going to make a mess. So.
All right, so with that being said, I just went over the contest, and like always, we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. We are going to be back next week. I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere next week, are you?
Here next week.
All right, so we'll be back next week, and like always, we do not know what we're doing yet. If you want to see something, post it in the comments down below, and if it's something that we're able to do, we'll gladly get it on there. I do believe that we had I marked a couple of your guys' comments from previous videos about topics, and we're trying to find the right vehicle to get those things done on. So as soon as we do that, I will make sure that if you're the one that did the comment, I will make sure that you know that your topic is coming up. So, anything else?
That's all I got.
Tune in tonight at 6 o'clock if you want to see one-step production detailing, right?
Yep.
On MT.
High speed, high quality production detailing.
All right. See you next time. Oh, where's my button? It's been a while. I'm out of practice, man.